All right, welcome in. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. This is a special episode of the 4thDownPodcast. You got the squad here, myself included. Got Rashard in the cut, John, got Leak in the cut. And I'll say this is, first visual episode. It's definitely special. Definitely glad to give y'all what y'all want to see. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, you can see these beautiful faces.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I think we should jump right in and start off with the hot topic right now, what everyone's talking about, the NBA Finals. Man, the Bucks actually pulled it off in 6 games against the Phoenix Suns after the Suns were up 2-0. What are y'all? I just want to ask, throw it up for anybody. What are y'all immediate thoughts about the finals and how it played out?
I'm not surprised. It was a really great series. The teams were like really even. This might have been like out of the last 10 years, this might have been the closest the teams have compared to each other as far as like talent goes. I'm not mad at the result. I know in previous episodes I said I don't like Giannis, but he started to grow on me, bro. He started to grow on me. So I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I was happy. I wanted in the beginning. I was like, I saw the Suns taking it because it just didn't seem like the Bucks like they were playing smart and they weren't doing it the right way. But I don't know. I ain't trying to. And I was saying this like when I was talking to my friend the other day. I ain't trying to discredit the Bucks or take nothing away from them. But honestly, I can say like the Suns kind of lost this one if we just want to be honest. Like honestly, all the Bucks did was just play more aggressive, and that it just took them out of it. Like what really did they do differently? They didn't switch nothing up. They just kept giving the ball to Giannis and told him be aggressive.
Bro, literally.
I think the defensive scheme was better. Like stopping Chris Paul, that slowed down the Suns' offense, and so the rebounding played a big factor at the end of the day because board up and boys get teams paid.
One man gets paid.
Yeah,
I was about to say. I think I saw a stat that was like this is like one of the top 5 highest margin for like rebounding in any playoff game in like the last 50 years or something like that. Like the Bucks literally just like John said, they just out rebounded the Suns. The Suns' only big man, majority of the series was DeAndre Ayton.
Bro, yeah. I do want to speak on that, bro. Like Ayton was acting like he was scared of Giannis, bro. Like Giannis was just bullying him, bro.
He's still a young player, though. He's still a young player.
I think he did good for where he's at right now. Yeah, he got a lot of growing to do. But I can agree with you on that because there was a couple times where he was like, he just wasn't aggressive, and I'm like, yo, you're probably the second strongest at the time on the court because Giannis is there with him. You're the second biggest and strongest on the court. You got to act like it. Like I can't remember what game it was, but it was a point where CP3's throwing him lobs and he's trying to like get finesse layups, and I'm like, bro, just
Pat Connaughton had more rebounds than him in Game 6.
Frank Kaminsky came off the bench and gave better minutes than he did.
And I think it was what was it? Connaughton came off the bench and had more rebounds than Ayton. And I ain't gonna lie, at that point, I was like, I'm a big Ayton fan, but it's like I can't stick up for you when you letting Pat Connaughton come off the bench and get more boards than you.
How do y'all feel about Pat Connaughton? Y'all think he's nice? Because I personally don't.
I think he filled in good for Dante DiVincenzo's role. Because I think they are like basically the same type of player, except Dante's a little better shooter.
I was about to say, bro. I think Pat's a better defender, but I think Dante's better on offense.
Yeah. So I think he filled in his role, like he did what he had.
Yeah, that's what I say. He good role player. He does his role. You know what I'm
saying? Yeah. So y'all think because people went from saying DeAndre Ayton and the Suns, well, not the Suns, but more so DeAndre Ayton, like, oh, he's an up and coming star and all this stuff. But now that they lost, people are now saying like, oh, like, he's kind of soft. He has to bulk up. Do y'all think that we judge players too much on like the results based rather than like their performance? Because like, for example, if the Bucks had lost against the Nets in round 2, people would have said, the same stuff we said about Giannis. Oh, he can't get it done, yada, yada. But now that they won the championship, there's arguments. People are arguing whether or not he's the best player in the league right now, which I think it's funny because, like I said, that just goes to what I'm saying. Like, I think personally, we might be a little too far on the results-based side of like analyzing players and stuff like that. What are y'all viewpoints on that though? Like,
well, I will say this, like for personally Giannis, it's a big W. Like if you look at his like accomplishments for right now, what he's 26, about to be 27. He's not even 27 yet. Man he has a bunch of MVP. He got what, 2 MVPs, 2 defensive players of the years, or 1 or 2. Finals MVP, finals championship, most improved player. And like, I know these aren't the most important things that I'm naming. These are just the ones that come to my head. But when I saw the list earlier, it was a long list.
And
so
put
like,
everything in perspective. Like,
so it's like personally, you take that W and you go with it. You know what I'm saying? I do think that it does say a lot, because it's like the health of the other teams. You know, were they really the best team if all teams were healthy to win the finals? No. I think
I guess we'll never know.
About the Suns too, though. Like the Suns, I think the Suns had an easier path than the Bucks did. They played the Nuggets with no Jamal. They played the Lakers with an injured AD and LeBron. They played the Clippers with no Kawhi. Like it doesn't get any easier than that.
Yeah, most people are saying like, had Kawhi been there, it wouldn't have went the way it did.
So I was gonna say, John, what do you think? Because you made a face when Rashad was saying.
I like the Bucks had a pretty easy way. They had to go through the Heat. That was pretty easy. The Nets without Kyrie and Harden. Yeah, pretty easy. Then a hurt Hawks team, or a hurt Trae Young Hawks team. That was pretty, like, especially for the Bucks. They were a bigger team all the time. They would, like, come on, the Heat, Nets, Hawks.
Well, the Nets could have beat them, bro. Like with just KD, they still almost beat them. So you can't use that argument. Like
what I was going to say was the Heat,
the bigger team.
The Heat seemed easy, but like I remember, obviously the Heat had beaten the Bucks the last 2 playoffs, I believe, or something like that, and also in the regular season they gave them trouble. And the Bucks, they could have avoided the Heat in the end of the season. I think it was like game either 77 between 77 and 82. They could have, like, not 82. Between the last 5 games of the season, they could have avoided if they had lost like 2 of those games or something like that. But they had actually won because they kind of wanted to see the Heat to get over that hump of, like, because the Heat were not a better team than them in the bubble last year, but somehow they beat them. So
Giannis said that they only lost to the Heat in the bubble because, like, they were homesick. He said that the Heat was still a good team, but, like, he said that they were away from home, so it just kind of took away from them mentally.
I said that bubble ring don't really count in the grand scheme of things, to be honest.
Just saying that because Braun won it. Just saying that because Braun won it.
I was gonna say I'm not in the league, so I can't say whether or not that's true or not. But I mean, it's like,
that's a Mickey Mouse ring. This ring really mattered. But, it was a good ring though for Giannis.
I mean,
I didn't like the narrative though. It was right. It was like this ring is more impressive than KD's 2 rings. I was like, I don't know where that came from, but that was Giannis' next question.
I was gonna say, so do we think this ring that Giannis won, and like John said, that's like the question that everyone's asking, is this ring that Giannis just won more impressive or more impactful or whatever, however you want to deem it? Is it more like, let's just say impressive for the sake of the conversation? Do you think it's more impressive than KD's 2 rings with Golden State?
Durant had to beat LeBron. He had to beat LeBron twice.
The team was stacked.
That's
KD's supporting cast was
stacked. We're not going to talk about that in 10 years. We're not going to talk about that in 10 years.
You look at Giannis's team compared to those Warriors teams, bro. Like,
Durant had to beat LeBron twice. He had to beat the quote-unquote best player in the league twice.
Hey, but
he had to outperform him twice.
That just goes to show how great LeBron is, that, like, even with that less Cavs team, it's still, like, an accomplishment because, like, you had to beat LeBron. You know what I'm saying? Like,
in the record book, it's going to be like Kevin Durant beat LeBron James. Like, that's how it's going to look. It's not going to be
Steph Curry. So did Klay Thompson. So did Draymond Green. All stars, bro. Name another all-star? Okay, well, you can name Chris and Drew, but outside of that, bro, the depth just drops off on the Bucks.
That's it after that, yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be like when Giannis goes back, it's like, oh, yeah, he beat Chris Paul in year 16 versus, Kevin Durant being the quote-unquote GOAT of this generation.
Chris Paul and LeBron are the same age, so, I mean, like.
I
was like, Chris Paul just got to the finals in year 16.
I feel like if you ask me, honestly, when I saw that was like the headlines going around, I feel like it's a pointless argument because, for one, we always say the superstar needs help. So on one hand, how can you say superstar needs help, but then we get on KD, like John is saying, like we can get on KD for having help, when that's always got to be the narrative. Like, oh, no one can ever do it alone. Okay, yes, he had 2-3 other guys, but that's not his fault. He had help. Guys always, superstars always need help. So that's why, like me personally, I had no stance on that because I'm like, this is a pointless argument. It's just like, dude went and got it how he got it. KD got it how he got it.
Let me ask. Do y'all feel like? Well, Casey, let me ask you. Do you feel like the Bucks can repeat as champions next year?
Hell no.
To be honest, I think they can get back to the finals. Do I think they'll win it again?
Hell no. They have to beat the Nets next year.
I think a better team.
I forget. And us.
I think by us he means the 76ers, but I think there's gonna be a better team coming out the West next year than the Phoenix Suns. Now, granted, if the Bucks,
I'm about to say the Suns, bro, because I know for the Suns to make it back, they gotta really.
Chris Paul might not even be there next year.
Exactly.
Yeah, Chris Paul, he can opt out of his. He
will. The Suns are gonna be idiots if they try to run him back with a 37-year-old point guard.
But this is the thing, though. Point guard. Just to go to what John said, Chris Paul has a $44 million player option, which I think will be, if he opts in, he'll be the highest paid player on a yearly annual salary. So I don't know, like he can opt out, but
the Suns still gotta pay DeAndre Ayton in the future. So there's no way they can commit at least 2 to 3 years to Chris Paul when they got Ayton. They got a bunch of younger players they can build around. Chris Paul, like, to be honest, campaign looked kind of better than Chris Paul at times.
Chris Paul was turning the ball over a lot in clutch time, bro. Like, I don't know if that's because he was hurt or what. But...
No. If you're on the court, you're healthy. So no excuse.
Yeah, Game 4. I remember that Game 4 when I think it was like a 2-point game. They were down, and he crossed over and tripped and fell. And I'm just like,
bro, Casey, you didn't answer the question, bro. You said they'd make it to the finals, but
okay. So okay, you're right. So do I think they can repeat? Truthfully, I think they can.
Let's say they have a healthy Dante DiVincenzo, bro. Let's say he's healthy.
Yeah, he's a key factor.
The reason why the Bucks can repeat is because you know how people always say, "Oh, when you win a championship, like it unlocks a certain level of like dominance in a player." Like people thought they were going to see that from Anthony Davis this year, and it just didn't materialize. So I think the way Giannis shows that he's locked in and he just focused on like winning and all that stuff. Like he said at the post conference, he was like, "This feeling I have is addicting. Like I want to be back." But equally, he also said, "If I never get back here, that's fine." So
He's lying.
Yeah, he is lying.
Yeah. So I think if he shows that he can be as dominant as he was in the finals throughout the playoffs, I think and they like John said, they have to play the Nets again in whatever round. I think it's possible, but if all things being equal, everyone fully healthy, it is hard to see the Nets losing in the 7-game series in the East because they haven't played Philly yet, so we don't know how that would look. Obviously, I know you're thinking like Philadelphia. We don't know what they're gonna do with Ben Simmons and everything.
Hey, sources tell me we're getting Dame, so I mean, stay tuned on that.
Do that.
Sources. I can't remember sources.
Yo, your sources are lying to you.
And I can't. Hey, look, man, they're confidential. I can't give them up. I can't out them. But let's just say big things are on the way. All right.
Yeah. So to answer the question, no, I think they can. Do I personally think that they will? No, I don't think they will. Can they? I think it's possible they can because Giannis, he showed us all something in the finals. Like after Game 1, he came back. People were all surprised that he was like able to even play. You know what I'm saying?
He plays hard like that all year though. Like I don't get the narrative around like him doing something different. He plays hard like that. He puts up those numbers every game, bro. Like
yeah. And it's so that's just my point. Like the fact that he goes hard every single play, every game, and then in the playoffs he does the same thing. It's like, bro, I think now. Granted, the question we should be asking is Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday going to step up next year? Because let's be honest, Giannis, he kind of like I jokingly off air had said like, oh, where are the Chris Middleton Finals MVP votes? But let's be honest, he's like they kind of had an underwhelming Finals performance. Granted, Drew Holiday, he did what he did on defense because he clamped Chris Paul for majority of the series, and then let me not say clamp, but he did a good number on him. And then in Game 6, he was on Devin Booker the whole game basically. He was like, "Yeah, I'm not going to let you go off." And Devin Booker didn't even have 20, if I'm not mistaken. He was like, he had a sub 50% field goal percentage. So I don't know. I think it's possible. I do.
I think to know what you was just saying, it all really depends on who's around him. Because Giannis, I feel like Giannis is gonna play like Giannis. As long as that doesn't change, he just gotta have the right people around him to help. Back to the point, like I was saying, it's all about the help.
Yeah.
But
And it's funny during the parade, PJ Tucker had said like, oh, when he got there, everyone was like, oh, you gotta be a dog, and he was like, Milwaukee, we got dogs. And truthfully, they do. Between Dante, Pat Connaughton, Bobby Portis, all the jokes about him on social media, he did have a good finals.
Yeah, he did his thing.
Yeah, Drew Holiday. So, and Chris Middleton, they got dogs, you know what I'm saying? But it's just, they had to get there, I feel like. They had to, and now that they have it,
I tweeted this, bro. Like, when Chris Middleton plays bad, bro, he plays awful. But when he plays good, bro, it's like, he's like a superstar. You know what I'm saying? Like, he only does that for 1 quarter a game. Like, it's so weird. Like, he'll do that for 1 game in the 4th quarter, drop like 30. Then the next game he'll drop like 10. You know what I'm saying?
Game 6. He didn't have a good game 6. He just kind of like hit that shot in the 4th quarter, and everyone was like, "Oh, Chris!" And I'm like, not even having a good game right now. But hey, he did what he had to do.
As a champion, you know what I'm saying? I can't wait for Embiid to have that feeling. But hey, man, it is what it is.
Speaking of Embiid and other teams, so John, do you think the Bucks can potentially repeat next year?
I'll give it a slim chance to make it out the 2nd round next year, but anything can happen. I think the Bucks had a good year. Giannis did what he had to do, but next year the East going to be even more loaded. The Nets going to have a year under their belt,
especially if the 76ers get Dame like Rashad.
I'm telling you, bro, don't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised if Dame go to the Knicks, to be honest, before the Sixers.
Hey,
I see the Sixers getting D'Angelo Russell. I see that happening more.
Well,
that would be crazy.
76ers get D'Angelo Russell?
Yeah, because I think they're gonna get Simmons, put him in Minnesota with my boy Cat.
So I mean, it's even like rumors that we get De'Aaron Fox and Buddy Hield. Like,
man, your sources are crazy.
I like De'Aaron.
How do you feel about De'Aaron Fox? Is he better than Lonzo?
De'Aaron Fox, he's not. I don't think he's
not that guy. He's a
good role player. Definitely nice, bro. He's definitely nice.
He's a role player.
But to Lonzo, like John said, I can't do that.
Hey, you replace Lonzo with Ben Simmons, especially with Lonzo and his new and improved jumper that he showed to this, this season. Hey, 76ers, they can do something.
Not with Lonzo. I don't think he'd take us to the next level.
Well, his reports
he's better than really playoffs. I put Lonzo over Simmons in the playoffs.
I was gonna say, so I just want to go back to previous conversations we've had where Rashad has said, and I quote, "You put any." What was it?
In that specific game is what I specified, bro.
He said anyone that can average over 10 points a game.
10 points a game will be better than Ben Simmons.
We would have won that game. Like it was a single possession lead. Like we would have won that game. They'd have hit the free throws. They wouldn't have passed the dunk. Like, hey, but that's ancient history. That's old news, bro.
I bet it is to y'all already.
But you know what else is old news? That Connor McGregor and Dustin fight. John, I know Connor's your boy. So like, how'd it feel when you see your boy get caught up after that L? You feel me? After he was talking that big trash, you feel me?
Man, at the end of the day, Dustin's wife was still in Connor's DMs, so Connor won the fight. So no, but I don't know. I feel as if like Connor, he need to retire. He don't got the hunger in him. I need to see one more fight, him and Diaz, the trilogy, and pack it up. Yeah, it's like his career went kind of downhill. He made too much money too fast for him to be like, top 10. But it's never gonna be a Conor McGregor. He's gonna be the notorious of the lightweight and welterweight division. So it is what it is.
You think he would have won the fight if he didn't get hurt, or you think?
Yeah, I don't know. He had that intensity in his eye where I really feel as if he would have rather died than lose. But the doctor had to stop the. I don't know. The doctor had to stop the fight. It is what it is. It wasn't in Connor's control. I think it was up to Connor. He could have still fought. He would have found a way.
They said Herb Dean actually he saw the ankle and then he told the doctor, like, he ended the fight and he was like, he told the doctor. And
Dustin said he heard he heard it.
Yeah. He heard it. So he I think he like broke his ankle like halfway through the first round and he was just fighting with it.
Well, he
so,
probably couldn't feel it because of the adrenaline, bro. Like 100%.
And just to like, piggyback off what John said, yeah, Connor is going to be one of one because his hype. Honestly, it reminds me of Nate Diaz, like how like he's not like the best fighter, but every time he's fighting, people are always like into his fights just because of his fighting style and everything. But I was gonna say, I just think it's funny because Connor said he was injured before the fight, right? And if we all remember how the fight went, the first like 10, 15 seconds, Connor came out kicking. Like he came out like hitting him with the body kick. And I'm like, dang, Connor, okay, it's a new style. Like as soon as the bell rang, I remember he ran up in the middle and immediately started attacking Dustin. But yeah, like Sean put the air quotes around, he was hurt before the fight. I don't know. I mean, it seems like, and then the way he was acting after he had lost on the ground, it was kind of ugly. I was surprised that Connor was that like bitter. Like he was
the doctor stopped the fight. He was ready to still go. But it is what it is. Just can't. Guys, just look past it. Hopefully we get that trilogy with him and Diaz. That's what started. That's what it all started. So let's end it right there.
Speaking of trilogy, though, Dana White, he said that there's going to be a fourth fight. I don't know if he's going to follow through with that because he said that before and not follow through. But he said right after, he was like, oh yeah, like they're gonna have to rematch because Connor, that wasn't a proper win in his eyes. So,
bro, it's a cash grab, bro, and he knows that it's gonna bring in.
It's not a money fight no more. Like we already like, it's not a money fight no more. I'm pretty sure Dustin want to see some championships. I don't think he wants to.
Exactly. I don't think that's what I was saying. I don't think Dustin wants to fight Connor again, regardless of whatever would have happened. I think this third fight he would have been satisfied with like, okay, if I lost, whatever. If I won, cool. But like he said after the fight, he was like, he wants to, And Dana White said before the fight, he was like, whoever wins this, assuming it was going to be Connor, I'm pretty sure. But he said whoever wins this is going to get the title fight in the division. So I'm like, okay, so, are you going to still give Dustin that title fight or are you going to just make him fight Connor again because, of how it went? But I just want to ask Malik, what were your opinions about how Connor went out, I guess you could say? The social media said he went out sad. Others have a different opinion.
Well, I ain't gonna lie. Well, that's the thing. I ain't gonna lie. For people that don't know, I'm not like the biggest UFC fan. I'm just kind of like slowly getting into it. So like, and that's the thing. Like, I know about Conor McGregor, obviously. Like, who doesn't? So I know about the antics and all that. So like, I know. So like, honestly, I was more into the fact that like how he was going at the man's wife and like how he was going on the ground after the fight when he was on the ground and he was like, yeah. He told her the bar where they was gonna be at and would tell her to come out. I was like, in my head, I'm just like, man, this man is still he just don't care. But I mean, like I said, I'm just starting to like slowly get into it. So, but I ain't gonna lie, like John was saying, it didn't seem like it doesn't seem like Conor McGregor really got it anymore. Like before, when I was like a couple years ago, when he was like really getting like the biggest, like I guess
he was the double champ. He was the double champ.
When he was the champ, like I ain't gonna lie, there was no doubt. Like when he would fight, it was like he's the better fighter. But now it's like John said, he made a lot of money really fast. At this point, man, he just wants to make money.
That Floyd fight, he made I think 200 million. When you see 200 million. I know. Me personally, if I make 200 million, I don't want to work no more. So throw it up to him. He must have get punched in the face after making 200 million.
Yeah, the hunger is so basically like I'm saying, like the hunger just not there. So, like you said, like John was saying, for Connor, like one more and then he probably gonna hang it. He should probably hang it up.
And before the fight, like leading up to the fight, there was a rumor that he had sold his liquor brand. He sold shares of it of up to like $400 million. So I'm like, bro, Connor got
all about the money, yo. It's about the money. There ain't nothing wrong with it. Hey,
I think Connor, he should go down the boxing route. Like, I'd like to see him versus Jake Paul in the future.
Who do we want to see Connor's next fight against? Me personally, if you ask me, yeah, I want to see him fight like, I'm looking more into the hype fight for the money, like John said, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, something like that. I mean, granted, obviously, Jake Paul, that wouldn't be fair. Logan Paul's already been in a boxing match, so maybe he could do it, and Connor's not a boxer. He only had one, that one boxing match with Floyd. So I think it'd be even in that aspect. Obviously, Connor's a fighter. Logan's getting into fighting and stuff, so it wouldn't be fair in that aspect. But yeah,
And let him go up against Mike Tyson. He think he all bad. Let's see who really better. Talk about selling tickets. That'll sell tickets.
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him against Ocho Cinco. I mean, Ocho Cinco wants to fight him. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that'd be a fun fight.
Man, hey, look, for real, I know we're not gonna talk about, but I shout out to my boy Ocho for giving this all up. Man. I'm saying he got put down, but it was at the end. You know what I'm saying? He held his own till the very end. I ain't gonna lie, though, his knees got his legs got the shaking. I said, "Oh no, I think this is it."
Take a lot of get in there.
He said he was like the whole time when he was on the ground, he was just like thinking, get up.
Get up.
He was like, when he got up, and it's funny because when he got up, he definitely was woozy. But in his head, he was like, I'm good. But everyone was just like,
right, looked at him and said, nah, you ain't good.
But yeah, I mean, yeah. So yeah, I said Logan Paul. Malik says Mike Tyson for Connor's next fight. Rashad, who you think Connor should fight?
Ocho. I said Ocho, bro. Like I really, yeah, like.
All right, and then John, who you think Connor should fight next?
I feel as if if it's not Jake Paul, go out, with the trilogy, him and Diaz. That's where the big money happening. But it's really crazy, like the UFC though, like all these breakages, like everybody's checking leg kicks. Like it's like leg kicks and wrestling.
Yeah.
Really crazy how MMA is really changing as a viewership.
I was about to say a couple, like I don't know, in the last month or so, I think Chris Weidman had a fight.
Weidman's leg wrapped around, bro.
Yeah, and someone leg checked him, and his leg, the same way it happened with Anderson Silva when they had first fought, like it was the same thing. And I'm like, damn, these leg checks are something serious. Like,
so let me ask, as like I said, I'm just getting into it. I don't know nothing about UFC really. Like a couple major injuries out of the big names that I've seen, they've been like down in the lower leg injuries. Like for example, Silva when he broke his leg, it was because he kicked a dude. And I think because John might have just been touching on it. Why do they do that when that's the potential to break your leg? If you're like, why did it? Like, what is? What is it? And what is it like? What does it do? Like, why?
Get the weight up. They're supposed to get their weight up. Be in the gym, getting their legs stronger because everybody's becoming super athletes where checking a leg kick could be deadly, break your tibia just like this, like in an instant. So, like it's just getting crazy though about the UFC. But I like how UFC's picking up in popularity. The boxing is going down, but everybody's tuning into UFC, which is always cool.
It's funny, and not to, and I know we weren't talking about him, but I don't know how to pronounce his name. That's why I'm hoping y'all gonna help me. But the one dude that I'm actually interested in watching, like I'll be watching his highlights in a couple videos, was the dude they call him the style bender.
I knew that's who you
I like him, yo. I know all it was is I seen some clip on it was on a reel on Instagram, and it was like when he got in the ring and he did the little thing with his hands, and the next to him was a clip of the dude from Naruto actually doing the signs. I was like, yo, I actually just did the real signs in the ring. I was like, that's my favorite fight. I don't care if he lose the next 20 fights, man, what? But it's just like I was seeing it, like I was watching his fights and like he was dominating when he was coming up. I heard he got a loss now, but that was because I was talking to one of my friends at work and he was telling me like the loss he took was really because he tried to move up in a weight class and it probably wasn't the best idea.
Yeah, and he tried to move up, and for me personally, I don't think he took the fight as serious as he should have because leading up to it, he was making it seem like, oh, I'm about to be the next double champ. Because just to go off of what John said about Connor being notorious, he's like I think one of 6 fighters who was ever a double champ in UFC history. So it's like, and so and they made that fight with Izzy and Jan Blachowicz. They made it a title fight. So if he had won, he would have took his belt and been a 2-time champ. So yeah. But I mean, Israel Adesanya, he's good. Like you said, he has a style. He has a air. You know what I mean? But just in my opinion, in terms of like just amongst the Nigerian fighters in UFC, I don't think he's the best right now. I think
for real?
Kamaru Usman and his class.
Usman, I like Usman.
About him, okay.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I'm still just getting into it, so but I ain't like because it was just like a video I seen. It probably just drew me. I was like, yo, this man is nice.
Yeah. And I'm glad that you said that because like speaking of people that are nice at what they do, like it's crazy how the whole Sha'Carri Richardson incident went down. Like she was one of the best up and coming track athletes that we have that could have went to the Olympics and potentially won gold. And, she had the most hope on her shoulders from all the track and athlete experts. And we have two people on the set right now who have ran track before and at a previous level. So you know how hard it is to get your mind focused and train and prepare for all that stuff. So the fact that and what affects your body when you're doing it, you know what I'm saying? So the fact that they didn't let her run because she had smoked some marijuana, which was banned, which is against the rules for trying to run in an event. I think it's crazy because if anything, she did it before her last event, if I'm not mistaken, and she still won. So I'm like, what was
She did it. She did it in Oregon where it was legal. But
yeah, exactly.
I mean, look, I'm gonna say something that y'all not gonna want to hear. She knew the rules. You feel me? Like,
oh God, look at this Uncle
she
Tom.
knew the rules. Like,
Rashad,
no matter how you
Rashad,
cut it, how you spice it, bro. The Olympics is like the top of the top for your career, and then the rules going into it. You can't do that.
Yeah.
But I know that she was grieving, and she handled it in the press really well. But I just think that I don't know, man. I can't.
All right, well, let me to double on what Rashad said. Like I said, first off, I will preface it by saying what she went through was something that nobody should have to go through. You know what I'm saying? And the way she handled it was very well. Hell, I know a lot of people that probably did a lot worse. But I say that to say and it was something I watched on the episode of All the Smoke with Samuel Aiko or how he say his last name. Emmanuel, my bad. Yeah, him, Emmanuel. So he was because he got a lot of criticism for his comments about it. And one thing that he said that stuck out to me was the fact that, like Rashad just said, it's a rule for the Olympics, and you got all these different countries coming into the world. He was like, the dude said that in China, you smoke weed, that's 5 to 10 years in prison. So we can't just sit here and let it, because weed is starting to become legal in America and this country, it's still completely illegal in another country, and they're all coming together in the Olympics. Yeah, one person can't just get by because they did something that's legal in their country, and the other dude, they can't do it at all. If he's grieving and just went through something traumatizing, terrible, he can't just light a joint real quick to relieve his stress because he about to get 5 to 10 years in prison. It's it's not, I don't agree, but it's like when you look at it like that, rules are rules, and it ain't like I'm just trying to be that stern, oh, she shouldn't have did it. But if we're holding it to everyone, like the guy said, somebody in China couldn't have just go light a joint because a loved one just passed away to ease the stress, because that could have potentially been 5 to 10 years had they tested positive for that coming into these Olympic trials. His whole life would have been ruined. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it and take at it. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely unfortunate, but
100%. And I saw this thing where it was like so many people say they're not going to watch the Olympics now simply because she's not in it. But that's unfair to all the other athletes that worked so hard to get there. All the other black athletes at that worked hard to get to where they are. And they want people to tune in, and because I feel like the Olympics is I don't want to say it's getting more popular because it's already popular, but I feel like it's gaining a lot more traction on social media this year. But it's just like so many people say they're not going to tune in because she's
delayed, because it should have been 2020, but obviously the pandemic. So people were waiting for it last year, and then when it didn't happen, it's like, okay, now we can finally get it, So, but yeah, so
still in jeopardy. That Delta strain over there, put in first. Now they can't have fans. Now it's looking like some Olympians are testing positive for COVID again. So
yeah,
it could be a sign that the Olympics might not even happen this year.
I was just about to ask, since before we recorded, anyone see any new news about it? Because that was, like John just said, they were trying to figure out if they were even going to have the Olympics at all. But the first couple of events were supposed to be tomorrow or early tonight. You know what I'm saying? So I guess they're gonna do it because we should have heard by now. So they're
gonna try their best to make it happen, bro. No matter what happens, since it was canceled last year, they're gonna do anything to make it possible.
They started certain sports, the soccer games already started for men's and women's. So so I think certain sports maybe start ahead of another one. I'm not too sure. Don't fact check me on that, but yeah.
And I mean, not to go too deep and get all crazy about it, but I don't know though. It's like this don't sit well with me because I just think like we have these Olympics, all these athletes and players from these countries is about to gather. Most of them still don't really aren't vaccinated. Let's say they go back to their countries. Now we just started another outbreak of COVID with this new strain in the world. Like,
the whole thinking is that if people get vaccinated like they're supposed to, yeah, sure, we might get COVID, but we'll recover quicker than we would if we weren't vaccinated. That's the whole
true.
thinking. You know what I mean?
That's true, but we got a lot of, and I didn't even notice until today, until the NFL thing came over. A lot of athletes all over the world, regardless of the sport, apparently still aren't wanting to get vaccinated. I didn't even know that. I honestly thought that it was just like, oh yeah, bro, we'll do it. Like,
it's not just athletes, bro. I just don't get why. Like, I know this is off topic, but I just don't get why people refuse to get vaccinated. Like, they're listening to all of these conspiracy theorists on social media that aren't doctors, and they're just gonna run with the misinformation. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're like, oh, they're putting chips in your body, so I'm not gonna get vaccinated.
Yeah. And I'm not even gonna lie, I wasn't one of those people thinking like there's chips and all that, but I definitely, before I did get vaccinated, I was on some like, I don't know what necessarily is gonna do. Like I might want to wait a little bit, but then I kind of had that realization. I can't remember who was talking to me. It might have been my uncle, but just having realized like it does more. There's bigger risk if I don't than it is, you know what I'm saying, if I do. So with that being said, I was just like, well, what's a shot and just feeling fatigued for a day and then having to do the same thing 2 weeks from now? Like to save me in the hospital on a breathing machine potentially, or getting someone else infected from, you know what I'm saying? So it's like there was a lot. The risk was way bigger than not doing it. So for me, and I feel like it's got to be a no-brainer. So like I feel the same way about what Rashad said. I don't see how people think it's just like, it's whatever.
Bro, it's like people thinking that the vaccine is supposed to stop you from getting COVID, but it's like you can still get COVID. It's just stopping you from dying or getting hospitalized. Like,
right.
It's to prevent severe symptoms. Like if you look at the cases of people who are hospitalized or even dying these days, is those that aren't vaccinated. So I mean, I don't know what other stats you need to look at.
Right.
I was about to say, John, like, what do you think in terms of the because I think we all are familiar with, like Malik was saying, there's still athletes out there who aren't trying to get vaccinated. Most notably right now, earlier today, DeAndre Hopkins was on social media voicing his displeasure about not being vaccinated. And Jalen Ramsey was backing him up. Jalen Ramsey was like, hey, everyone they have the right to do what they want to do. That doesn't make you less of a teammate. So I was gonna say, John, what do you think about?
If you're a football player or an athlete not getting vaccinated, you're not a team player, because if everybody's vaccinated, that goes against like the league more normalcy. So you're not doing it, that's hindering your team. But I feel as if you can't force people to get vaccinated. If they don't want to get vaccinated, that's where natural selection comes in. If that's their decision, so they gotta live with the consequences to them and or others that they'd be surrounded with. So people want to go back to normal, but they don't want to get vaccinated. They can't have it both ways.
Say it again. Say that same thing again.
But I don't know. I just feel as if like America, please get the whole world, please get vaccinated. I want to go back to normal. I want to travel. We're in our 20s. I want to enjoy the world. Like, I can't believe we just spent the whole year, 18 months wasted. Like, come on.
I'm not trying to go back to another shutdown. Like, I don't care as much as I made it seem like I like being indoors. I like chilling, being by myself. But it's different when you have no choice. And all homebodies know that. Even anyone who loves to just be in the house or just chill inside knows it's different when you don't have a choice. Yeah. Like, I wanted to go outside all the damn time and wanted to do anything, but I couldn't.
Yeah, no, seriously. Like, and it was like people being outside, like just seeing people walk around outside, it was like it just felt, like it was just different. It's like, bro, like, why am I getting excited just seeing people walking around and doing stuff? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's how bad it was at a certain point. So,
well, every time I went outside during quarantine, it was like I just left my cell. You know what I'm saying? It just felt so good going outside.
And that's the thing. Like, I'd be outside, like, taking a jog or exercising or something, and I'm like, when I'd see people and they didn't have the mask, it just felt so like foreign. I'm like, damn.
Hot dog in that air, bro. That's what you're doing.
Yeah. So, but yeah, as far as as far as like, like I was saying, the athletes not wanting to vaccine, and does that make you a bad teammate? Me personally,
100%.
I don't know. Like Jalen Ramsey, he made a good point. He said the rules that they implemented, the new NFL memo about like, they're not saying, oh, you must get vaccinated or else. They're just saying if you're not vaccinated and something happens, then it's going to be on you. So I think, like Jalen Ramsey said, it's up to you. If you feel like you can stay safe and go the whole season without being vaccinated in a contact sport, hey.
Bro, but you got to listen to the caveat, bro. If an outbreak starts between unvaccinated players and people have to like sit out, bro, the team has to forfeit. And then they don't get paid for that week.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy because I guarantee you the unvaccinated players are going to be the first ones making a fuss about not getting paid and playing. And then every one of the teams is going to be looking at them like, you the one that didn't get the needle. Like, what? Come on, bro. It's not that hard. And you want to be complaining because you didn't get paid and we not on the field this week. It's your fault.
And it's crazy because I was going to say, I remember specifically last football season when the Ravens COVID outbreak happened.
I'm about to touch on that. Yes.
How upsetting, and not just, I mean, there's 2 Ravens fans and 2 Patriots fans on this panel. So because the Patriots equally had a COVID outbreak as well with their quarterback.
Season, bro. Cam stays healthy, we in the playoffs. Cost us our season.
Yeah, we don't have to get into the coulda, woulda, shoulda. But my point being,
I don't like how you just like. COVID's a big deal, bro.
My point being, if the outbreak didn't happen, but truthfully, like you just said, I could equally say if the outbreak didn't happen, I feel like we could have had a couple losses off of our resume that were losses, preferably to the New England Patriots. But we didn't have to get into that.
I don't know about that one. You had a healthy Lamar.
that's just the.
Huh? What happened?
COVID. What you mean?
Lamar didn't have COVID that game.
Lamar,
he I think he just came back from COVID that game.
He came back the week before against the Browns.
Cam was affected from COVID for the rest of the season. So was Lamar. Don't try to no.
Cam's first game back from COVID, if I'm not mistaken. You guys play the Denver Broncos with Drew.
Hey, the Broncos do have a nice defense. Don't do that. The Broncos got a nice defense.
They scored no touchdowns and won the game somehow.
Score was 19-18, bro. It was.
Just put it out there.
Hey, bro. Since you brought up the Ravens, bro. Y'all want to talk about your boy Lamar? Playing wide receiver, playing DB on a basketball court. Like, y'all feel like that's okay? Y'all feel like that's not okay? Leak KC talking to y'all. Like,
no, I want to give it the floor to John first. John, how do you feel about the Lamar situation and his camp with his kids and how he was playing wide receiver and DB with kids at half speed on asphalt, given, it was concrete.
Like half speed.
I was like, he rolls an ankle, do anything. Everybody would be screaming, saying, oh my God, that's unfair to NFL to still pay him. I feel as if, like, I can't speak for Lamar because, I don't have his heart, but if I have the opportunity to make $40-50 million a year and they tell me don't get hurt, I'm not about to be, playing DB wide receiver on some concrete just to prove that, I'm still connected in the streets or with his family down Florida.
Bro, isn't that how Terrell Suggs got hurt?
No, he was playing basketball completely different. That's the one thing I want to understand. Like, I want people to understand. Like,
Rashad tried it. He tried it, but no.
We're not gonna do that. Whatever. Yo, like, what was he really like? I get freak accidents, but taking that out of the scenario, considering a freak accident is a rarity, what was he really doing? He wasn't even going half speed. He didn't even have to. They were kids. He wasn't.
Letting his high school kids. Let's say one of them step on his ankle. Y'all gonna be probably calling for that kid to get arrested. Like better if he hurt the Ravens season this year. So
again, a freak accident that wasn't gonna happen. Like,
he steps on his ankle the wrong way. Yeah, you're not gonna have that same energy towards him.
I don't think he did anything wrong personally.
Personally, I think specifically, I think the reason why it was brought to light, first of all, was because Shannon Sharp of, Skip and Shannon Undisputed, it was a topic, and he had said, I think the first day he said that, Lamar shouldn't be doing that. He's on the cusp of making generational wealth. Why are you doing that? And then after the pushback from, some players, fans, most notably, I think it was Marquez Valdez-Scantling, the wide receiver for the Packers, yeah, he was like, you know, I mean, he's giving back to the community. You know, he's trying to be that role model that, you know, a lot of people didn't have growing up. And then I think the next day on the show, Shane kind of doubled down and got a little, you know, I think he got a little smart about it. He was like, oh, I'm sorry for caring about you. I'm sorry for caring about your future. I'm sorry for like.
If Lamar would have got hurt, I swear y'all would be like pissed off. Y'all be like, what the heck? Like, you know, why he get hurt? But since he didn't get hurt, in hindsight, since he didn't get hurt, it's like, oh, you know, he was just having fun with the kids. Let him get, y'all would have been pissed.
And you're right. It's easy to say because he didn't, but I'm just saying, like, because of from what he was doing, I don't think that was gonna be like now. Had he been out there hooping with some grown men like Mahomes was doing after he got his money, then I'd have been mad. I'd have been mad.
That's the thing. Lamar,
grown men hooping.
Mahomes got his money though. Mahomes got his money.
Mahomes is set for life, bro. Lamar's
day, you know, him and his family. It said Lamar ain't get his money. If he would have got hurt, he not going to get that 40, 50 mil. And now,
I swear they came out like the year before.
What? Yeah. Oh, the hooping video.
The Chiefs owner was like, he had to put the thing on there. Was like, yeah, you can't be doing that.
I don't know. It might have been the year before, or it might have been the off season. He was getting his deal potentially, or
that off season, and that's why the dude had to come out and say, because like, bro, we about to give you $500 million. Don't be doing that. But so, John, you're not wrong. You're right. It's easy for me as a Raiders fan to not be mad, but I'm just saying, like, I'd have that energy about being mad if he was out there with grown men going 100 speed, hooping or doing that, playing football on the asphalt with grown men. He was out there going with little kids, not even going nowhere near full speed. That's the only reason why I could say it ain't that serious. I would have something to say if it was the scenario I just described, though.
Just like the NFL is like a business. Like, it's a business. So, like, they put in all that money and trust into Lamar. You got to move smarter than that. Like, you got to move smarter. Like, you making that type. If you're in the 1%, you can't be moving like you're in the 50%.
So, okay. So, to what John just said, so you think it would have been better if Lamar had already had his money secured and decided to have his camp for, because what it was.
Yeah, if he had his money, then, you know, do you, because, like, you know, you're still your own person, you're your own brand. But the fact that he don't got his money, he would have been pissed if he would have, like, look, like, I don't know, I just feel as if, like, it's not new to see players, like franchise players, you can't do nothing. Like Tom Brady in his offseason, he liked to go cliff jumping. The Patriots used to shut that down, like, you know, can't go cliff jumping, don't go skiing down hills. Myles Garrett was hooping. Myles Garrett was hooping LA Fitness. They told him, yeah, cut that out, you know. Yeah. Like, stuff you just can't do. Yeah. And like, if you tell me, if you telling me, oh, you can't hoop, but you're gonna make $40 million, I'm gonna take the $40 million all the time. Not that deep.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point.
Yeah, like, I mean, I think, excuse me, I was gonna say, I think people, like to what Malik was saying, I think people were just kind of looking too deep into it, only because like the whole thing was a camp for kids like that had paid, they paid to get the experience with Lamar. And you know,
why was it on like a blacktop though? Like why not a field?
Grass, Florida, in the hood. Number grass field. I guarantee there's been no grass and been hard dirt. So honestly, no, you make a good point. You make a good point.
I was gonna say, just to go off what you just said, it's funny because I think personally, like Lamar had said, I would rather people be doing this with me than, you know, out in the field with guns and stuff. So I think that's a good point, because for all those kids that were with him that day, for all he knows, he could have changed a couple, and if not one, he could have changed more than one of their lives and been like, you know what, I don't want to be doing whatever I might have been doing before. I want to be like him. So they're like, okay, how did he get there? Okay, by working hard, about, you know, granted playing and everything, but like, you know, doing what you had to do to get to where Lamar is, so where you could give back and, you know, have events, camps, and all that stuff. So I don't know. Like I said, I think people were looking too hard into it. One of the people that I think that people have criticized about being a hater for, Stephen A. Smith. Recently, he talked about how I think the hottest player in baseball right now, you know, arguably Shohei Ohtani. I don't know if, you know, I can't pronounce his name all the way, but I think that's right.
Shohei Ohtani.
Okay, Shohei Ohtani, yeah. He had said, like, which really got a lot of backlash to the point where he had to even get on the show and apologize. A whole segment where he just apologized. He had said
the whole show. Man, it was really in the dog pound.
He said he was like, I don't think it's good. I think this is before the All-Star weekend and the home run derby and everything, which I think Shohei Ohtani won that, right?
The home run derby.
Yeah. And he was like, I don't think it's good that the face of the sport needs a translator to get his point across about what he's trying to say. Rashad, what do you think about that?
I thought that was ignorant. I thought that was a ignorant statement, like, because he rarely has to talk anyway. Like, you're on the baseball field, I guess that you can call it. You know what I'm saying? He's dominating the sport in two ways. He's doing it from the pitcher's mound, and he's doing it from batting. He leads the league in home runs.
Yeah,
33, bro.
And he's one of the top 5 pitchers in baseball, if not the best pitcher. So
like, this has never been done before. Like Babe Ruth, Barry Bonds, all those guys were great hitters. You could talk about Clayton Kershaw being a great pitcher, but combine the two together and you have Shohei. Like, then for him to make that, I think it was ignorant.
Quick shout out to my boy Tyler Glasnow. I think he's one of the best pitchers. Kind of slept on a little bit of the Tampa Bay Rays. I love Tyler. I think he's tough. But
who made a bunch of money?
Tyler, hey man, he's won me a lot of money in the past. So I love him.
Shout out.
But
Tony, like, I feel as if Stephen A came out really bad because he tried to walk it back, like, he's a black man, so he tried to, like, he understands their struggle. Like, at the end of the day,
because
if Max Kellerman would have said that, it would have looked really, really bad. It would have been. They would have called him really Max KK Kellerman, but like, just the fact, like, Stephen A.
the jokes would have been. It would have been.
Just Stephen A. Smith said it, like, he tried to walk it back, like, I'm a black man. He understand, like, the struggles and, like, the racism, but like, no, he came up real racist, trying to say he can't understand them and this and that. But I feel as if Stephen A. he manned up to it. He didn't walk away from it. It's in the past. Antonio, he let his his words speak on the field. So that's what it is,
bro. Now that we're on the topic of like ESPN and like hosts
and racism, and like John said,
racism. Can we just talk about like how Rachel Nichols basically went unpunished for her comments on Maria Taylor? Like,
but my boy Paul Pierce got fired for having the strippers at the telly, bro. That's insane.
So like that just goes to show you that someone can be your friend in your face, but then behind closed doors, bro, it's just like you don't know what they're gonna say.
So let me ask you, before I will preface to say this, I don't really have a side on that, but I saw something interesting on CNN one night. They took a little poll about that, and people were more so on the side of that she didn't do nothing wrong. Let me ask you this. Was her statement, let me ask you this. Was her statement not geared more so not towards Maria Taylor, but was more towards ESPN?
That's what I was gonna say. That was the argument that a lot of people
use. That's what I'm saying. Well, hear me out, Rashad. And again, hear me out.
No, I'm listening.
And because I can't remember her exact words, but when I listened to what she said, and I listened to it about like 2-3 times just to make sure. It was bad, yes, because of the context of it. But
she's a white woman saying this.
It wasn't the fact that it wasn't like she was maliciously coming at Maria Taylor in any way, shape, or form. It was simply saying, like, how could y'all take away my job just because you guys as a business have an agenda to keep appeasing to a certain
diversity.
Audience.
And I think
it was really no. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the fact that recording came out and she was like, she basically made it seem like they only did that not based on her abilities, but just because of the I guess you could say the climate of how it is 2021. Everyone's more like socially aware and all that stuff, and Black Lives Matter movement and everything.
Right.
I think the fact that she basically made it seem like they're only doing this because they're pressured to. I think that's why it's like that's the disrespectful part to Maria Taylor. And I don't know if Malika Andrews was also involved. I think she kind of was because of that situation. She kind of got put into.
She got promoted basically.
Yeah, she
looking out for her home. Oh, okay, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So when they did the little introduction and all that, but
yeah,
like I said, it doesn't make it right. Like obviously, I still look at Rachel and Nick was a little like I don't know, but I'm just saying, like I just want to be like her comment. I didn't take her comment as her coming directly at her for being black or like it was racist. It was more so like, oh, as a company, you guys are trying to just appease to and make it seem like you guys are appeasing to the African American community. And really, we should really, I think, be looking at ESPN, not her.
Yeah.
Wait, what you mean like ESPN? What's the fault?
If they have an agenda to always to like, and if it's not a genuine agenda and a genuine intention to make sure that they're appeasing to the African American audience, that lets you like it's just like that's like saying, oh yeah, we're gonna do something for the black people, but behind closed doors, we don't care about them really. We're just gonna make sure they're happy.
That happens in a lot of places outside of
ESPN. You get what I'm saying?
I was gonna say, well, Rashad, go ahead. What are you gonna say?
I mean, I was saying like, if you're gonna do that to ESPN, you got to do it to. It happens everywhere. You know what I mean? Like it happens.
You're right. It does.
But I mean, back to KC's point, like if you look at what she said, bro, it's like she's saying it that she didn't get promoted based on her work ethic and her accomplishments and her merit. She got promoted because she's black. And then Rachel is jealous that she got her job taken away because of it. She's not instead happy for Maria to get the
women. See women competing. She was more of a selfish, like I don't know. Rachel, she got her own show. She the only girl like that got her own TV show, and she's still complaining.
Oh yeah, The Jump. She's still, and that's the thing. She said this while still being the host of The Jump, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like, you know, how much, and for her to say ESPN, for her to lead, I mean, like put out that like ESPN has a diversity issue about like hiring too many black people. That it just does not sound right to like. I just don't think it just came off kind of bad.
Black people just want their foot in the door. They just want the opportunity. They gave her the opportunity, and she got upset that like she got her own TV show. She's been doing the finals for multiple years.
Yeah, like
one year.
First finals, like
that's what I'm saying. Like that right there, that kind of lets me know that doesn't speak to her necessarily being racist or having any issues with black people. She don't know how to. She's selfish. She don't know how to. Yeah, like she's just selfish. This is the first time somebody's
a bad person. She's not racist. She's not racist. She's just a bad person.
Yeah, there is a distinct difference. Like
even if you look at the journalism side of it, bro, like the journalism industry is hard to break into because it's like the higher up you go, the less like faces you're gonna see, bro. Like it's the higher ups of it are white. You know what I'm saying? So for her to say what she said and then apologize and then everything is fine, bro. It just shows you how much power she has in her position, whether she realizes it or not. You know.
Meanwhile, Paul Pierce goes on Instagram Live.
Well, his day off.
They fired him because he had the hoes at the telly. It's insane.
And you know what's funny? About that Paul Pierce situation was really wild. But what's funny about this whole Maria Taylor and Richard Nichols thing is that I think, if I'm not mistaken, Maria Taylor just signed a deal with another network. It's slipping my mind.
Fox, I think.
Was it Fox or NBC or something like? She signed it was
like that Smith money. Which was something though.
Was it after before?
You said what?
Was it after or before the incident?
No, this is after. Like it just happened.
She didn't renew her contract the other day. Like so,
yeah. She signed a new $3 million deal with the new. I think it's $3 million. She signed a $3 million deal with the new network, and she left ESPN. Granted, I mean, obviously, this definitely had to play in a factor because it's like, okay, Rachel Nichols, like she probably felt betrayed because she probably thought her and Rachel was cool because they are one of the few females.
Yeah.
There's like I can only think of like a couple of females: Malika Andrews, Rachel Nichols,
Lisa Salters,
Molly Karam, and then Taylor. So it's like there's only so many females on like
journalism is already a hard profession, and then being a woman makes it even harder, and then being a black woman it's even harder. So.
Yeah, so it's like
Rashad can speak more because this is his career. Like he understands,
It's I'm telling you, bro. It's not about what you can do, bro. It's really all about who you know. And then for her to like, she probably looked at Maria. I mean, she probably looked at Rachel as like a mentor, or like an OG. And then for her to come out her mouth and say that stuff is like a stab in the back, Like, and I've read that Rachel tried to reach out to Maria and like apologize, but Maria ain't returned none of her calls, ain't talking to her, nothing like that, bro. And then I saw like, I know this might be just, you know, reaching. Like,
do you blame her? I mean, do we blame Maria? I mean,
of course not. No, but like, literally, I saw this segment on ESPN when Jalen Rose and Perkins were like going back and forth. And then I read the comments that Jalen Rose was just so heated that day because he defended Maria and Perk defended Rachel Nichols. You know what I mean? So it's like,
okay, well, you have to understand. Although Jalen Rose and Maria and Rachel Nichols have worked together, Kendrick is currently working with her, and he's also trying to make his way up because he had just signed another deal with ESPN to be on it even longer. So he's trying to. I'm pretty sure there were a couple things that played in the factor in terms of him defending Rachel, who's been with ESPN, I believe, longer than Maria, and So I'm not saying that's why he defended her, but
that's why I prefaced it with I might be reaching, but
yeah, I think that definitely played into it. But yeah, I think just to talk about another like really wild situation that kind of just caught everyone off guard, like the whole thing with Richard Sherman and that video that came out where he was like, first it was the reports that came out that he potentially might have been in a car that smelled like a whole bunch of substances, methamphetamine, all this other stuff. And then it was like that video that came out where he was trying to break into, I think it was his wife?
Father-in-law. Yeah, it was his father-in-law.
Wife's parents' house.
Yeah, and it was like he was like banging on the door, and it's funny because like it was not funny, but I saw one thing I saw one thing that I just couldn't let go of because it was like that door. There was someone like that door deserves a contract in the NFL. I think that was like so tough.
He a big man. He couldn't break down that door.
I don't even know what happened with that.
Like, boom that night, Jesus.
I think that was wild.
Oh, Sherman gets he got charged with like mad felonies, but
5 charges, yeah.
Yeah, but hopefully he gets the help he needed. It's looking like he got CTE because like it's mad. Like he's not even signed to a team.
It was something this like what? He could be doing something like what the hell? Like CTE immediately? Like
whoa. Antonio Brown, I heard all them CTE jokes because he knew his worth. So now I'm gonna go CTE to every person. Y'all tried to discredit my boy.
I never sat there and told you I thought Antonio Brown had CTE.
No. But Antonio Brown, his actions were giving like something
questionable.
AB knew what he was doing. Richard Sherman, this man, he's not even signed to a team yet. In the off season, NFL season starting in about 4 weeks, and he doing this dumb stuff.
But that's a good point, bro. Do y'all think
that's playing a factor? He's on the inner leg of his career. He probably in his mind thinks he can still go long, but teams are probably trying to give him the reality. And it's like, Richard, you're not as good as you think you are, and he probably can't make it nowhere. You don't think that's messing with him? On top of whatever else was going on that night, it's a lot. He could.
His wife called 911 and said he was suicidal. If that's not a scream of CTE, I don't know what is.
Maybe it's depression. Maybe
what's the symptom of CTE? Depression. See, everything's connected.
It could be. It could. CTE could be it. But I was gonna say, Rashad, what do you think about how that played out? It was just wild.
I outside of that video, bro, I didn't know much else about the situation. Like I didn't know that he got charged. I didn't know what happened after that. Like kind of in the dark.
He just, like it happened, and then he came out and said,
I saw the apology.
Yeah, he was like,
he apologized. The ring called him in 4K, banging on the door.
Yeah,
he couldn't find the choice.
And the crazy part, I just kept thinking, I was like, man, can you imagine, like, what would have happened if someone opened that door? Like, he would have probably just started swinging on impact, like, off the site.
There was reports, though, that you hear about the other side of the door, what was going on? He was his father-in-law on the other, because I believe it was his wife's uncle and the father-in-law was inside on the other side. I don't know if they both were or it was like one or the other, but they had pepper spray and someone also had a pistol. So if Richard had got through, and that's what I was watching a video on it for Speak For Yourself with Marcellus Wiley and the dude Emmanuel, however you say his last name.
Hey man, you gonna turn to a Stephen A. Get his name right.
I gotta give you some time. This is my first time hearing his name, but they was just because they was explaining it, and like dude had a gun, so like they were just like, thank God Richard didn't get through that door because it was like had he got in, we don't know what the story would be right now. The headline could be totally different. They had guns in there. Like if he had got through that door, Richard Sherman probably wouldn't be alive right now.
It would have been a misunderstanding, but hopefully Richard get the help and everything works out.
You need to shoot like that.
I think this is the end of Richard Sherman's NFL career, though. I don't think no team will sign him after this.
Unless it's because you gotta think like unless something is like.
But no, he's gonna get charged. This man did drive drunk.
Yeah,
he definitely looks like he was under.
I'm saying as far as like because Richard Sherman, how he's looked at in the league, like as an outstanding guy. Granted, this does put a huge tarnish on it. It's like I feel like if something comes out as like the reason why he gets help and he comes out and he's like, all right, I've gotten better at it. I've gotten better. Then people are gonna be like, all right, it's Richard Sherman. He's a good guy. We love him. We believe him. He's one of the guys that's in charge. Isn't he like he's one of the dudes that's part of the NFLPA, like one of the heads in charge.
Yeah,
not a good look.
This is not really a good. So it's not a good look. You're right, but like the fact that he's got a lot going for him behind it already is like, all right, he's his second chance. He'll get an easy second chance if he actually can get some help.
Couldn't get a first chance. It's July. He still wasn't signed to a team. So he's not looking positive now. It's about to be August.
When I say second chance, I just meant it's like being a good guy, like not being looked at as this crazy person with problems. Like,
I'm not gonna cap. I don't even like Sherman because he tried to get in Brady's face back in the day. So
I knew it was coming.
At the end of the day,
No,
I'm not gonna lie. I was pretty salty after that game too. When it was like the whole "you mad, bro" thing, bro.
Yeah.
You can't be mad because that was when the Legion of Boom was coming out, and that was Brady. He was in his prime. The Patriots were in their prime, so it was a big game in Seattle. And then
guess when we saw him in the Super Bowl, guess who won?
Right,
that's all that matters.
The most controversial play in Super Bowl history. We're not going to talk about that. So,
I mean, speaking of controversial, I saw this topic on Twitter yesterday, and shout out to John for sending it to me. It's a really good topic, bro. Like, in your opinion, I'm gonna open the floor to anybody. Anybody can take it. Which do you think was more harmful to the African American community, slavery or crack?
Crack.
And why? Like, give me your thoughts and why. I mean.
I feel like my answer is more geared towards like future, like the future, not what then. So I don't know if I really want to answer because I feel like everyone's gonna hate my answer.
I thought you meant for a second. I thought you meant future the artist. I was gonna say what is.
I don't know, like his question was how did it affect us? But my answer was more so like how will it affect us? If you get what I'm saying. But I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Rashad, if you wanna like go and what do you think? I mean,
I was gonna say crack. I think crack was more harmful because if you look at slavery brought us together against a common enemy. Like we were being oppressed, yes, but it brought us together. We were unified, and we kind of just like all didn't like the oppressor and the white man. As far as crack, bro, crack was like every man for himself. It's like, I don't like you. I'm gonna do what I snitch on my own cousin if it mean I could get it fixed. You know what I'm saying? And then even the dealers, eventually they were on crack too. Be around it long enough, you're gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like it was so harmful and it's so addictive. It literally destroyed communities. Like, no. Check this out. Slavery wasn't a choice. Crack was a choice. You know what I'm saying? Like you can choose to mess up your people by doing crack, but slavery, it was just like, hey,
if one's a choice and one's not, isn't the answer to which one's harmful easier?
I was gonna say, I mean, just because
what are we talking about here?
I was gonna say, because bro, like for my answer, I think I would personally say slavery, because slavery, in my opinion, it was like, bro, like Black people were getting oppressed for hundreds and hundreds of years, bro. Granted, crack, that was bad. Obviously, all drugs that are used in a overdose way can be bad. But like I just said, there's more than it's crack. It was heroin. It was like all these different heroin. It was all these different things.
Bro.
Could have been, or that did equal or even more damage than crack. I mean, I'm not trying to compare which drug is like the worst or whatever, but slavery, like it was like, bro, like you couldn't bro, like you didn't have liberty. You didn't have any freedom to do whatever you wanted. Like right now, we have the freedom to like move, go side to side, do whatever you want, bro. Back then, it was like you literally your entire life was controlled, bro.
You had freedom to choose to do crack.
You look at that. Yeah, on crack, bro. Your life is driven by the rock. You said what?
I said you didn't have the freedom to choose to do some crack.
Yeah, it was like it was just.
Yo, if you look at in 10 years, crack did numbers that slavery did in 400 years. Like crack destroyed the community in 10, but slavery it was a long, slow burn. You feel me? Like crack was just so much quicker. Like I don't know, man. It's a matter of opinion, yeah, but.
And that's why I say, like, when I was thinking about it, like, I was more so, like, I think about it more so, like, later on. So, like, when I asked the question, like, I'll ask this, like, what can you see yourself keeping your kids away from more, slavery or crack?
I mean, granted, like, you mean, like, keeping away from it in terms of, like, letting them.
Learning or, like, just.
Well, I mean, slavery is a part of like history.
You can't help it. I can literally do everything that I want in my children's life to keep them from learning about them two things. The second they step out the door, I guarantee you they walk into racism quicker than they walk into to crack.
Yeah.
No, you can go down Liberty Heights and see a crackhead pretty easily.
That's also true. You can go outside and see someone doing something crazy. But
I guarantee they called the N-word before they served some crack though.
Yeah.
Hey John, what do you think? You haven't given me
like John, what do you think?
Like I feel like crack, it started a lot of gang wars. It started a lot of like stuff back in the day, and like we're still seeing the repercussions of it till this day. Like if crack wasn't introduced, maybe we never know. Like maybe we're looked at differently in the world. Maybe we're not, but like. I don't know. Slavery, 400 years, that's a long time versus crack, what it did in 10 years. But I thought it was a good discussion,
and
to see.
400 years,
a good combo.
400 years that were documented. Like, we're not talking about what was going on before, like, people knew how to, like, write and read and stuff like that. Like, it was, bro, you just, like I just said, read and write, bro. You weren't even allowed. Black people were not even allowed to read and write, bro. Like, they couldn't learn how to like be something other than like an item. Like it's crazy. I mean, because like I said, it's not like crack didn't do any damage, but
and it's like I may sound ignorant when I say this, but it's also I just feel like for me specifically because of how I grew up, like I'm nothing ever gonna see no damn crack or ever be around it or see it or do it or use it. But yet racism, I literally cannot avoid it. I will not be able to avoid it ever at any point. Now, just as far
as in America, you can avoid it. Like,
how I deal with it, you know what I'm saying, is completely different. I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't really racism, like not racism, but racist, like people that try to be racist. It makes me mad, but it's like I don't take them serious because it's like, dude, you're just ignorant. You don't know any better. So it's like.
Or they do know any better and they're just ignorant. They're just bad people.
Yeah, they're just ignorant. So that's just like, and that's another thing. Like, I may not sound right when I say this, but when I think of crack is like all the things that y'all were just saying were like in our community issues and problems. Slavery got people thinking that they can treat us and do to us any type of way.
See, but check this out. No. That's a good point.
Take it away. Like, Go ahead, Shark. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, if you look at slavery, it's an outside force that's driving us apart. You look at crack, it's an internal force that's driving us apart.
Put my words better. Yes, exactly. Yes,
that's why I felt like crack was more harmful because it was us tearing each other apart.
I get that.
Black people sold other black people to slavery. So you can look at it both ways.
I mean, but that may be true, but like it wasn't as, like I said, crack was a thing. It was like, all right.
I started watching Snowfall. That boy Frank was selling to his community.
This is me completely reaching, but I feel like if slavery weren't a thing, weed wouldn't be illegal because weed was deemed illegal way back when some dude had basically put that crime. The dude that was in charge of the police, that was in charge of like some police department, was putting that weed was the reason why black people committed crimes, or weed made people do illegal things or do these hateful and heinous crimes. And when they would see that on their police reports, they would basically put, the reason for a crime, marijuana. So when they receive these people, these families getting murdered and killed, or triple homicides, the reason for it was marijuana. And also because the dude was a racist, he was a racist cop. So it was like black people smoking weed and doing, so it's like, if slavery wasn't there, that racist wasn't there, weed wouldn't be legal, wouldn't be illegal. A lot of things kind of like, you get what, like,
I agree.
So, if slavery wasn't a thing, crack wouldn't be a thing.
I was gonna say. So,
it was on crack.
Let me ask John real quick. So, John, do you feel like because me personally, I think if it was not like, okay, let's say crack never existed, right? Whatever, fine. There was going to be something else that came up that was still going to do the damage it did, like it did, like heroin, like, crystal meth, like Molly, Zans, all these different things. So, John, do you agree with that sentiment that if not for crack, it still would have been something else that would have done the same damage, if not more?
Probably, because human nature, like, people have been getting high since the beginning of time, like since BC. So probably something, but like I feel as if people just look at it like we were destroying our own community.
I was about to say, like, there's no history of like, when is the first person that decided to like roll a joint or something or do a drug? Like, no, because that was going on since who knows how long. Like,
they were doing mercury back in BC. Like, we don't like it was like huffing something. Like, but like,
so I'm like, like I said, because Rashad saying crack did more damage than slavery, which you can honestly make the argument for both. But the thing is just, like I said, slavery is just like, it was like it was I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it was bigger than just, like I'm gonna go to the street and buy this and get high and do whatever. It was like, I wake up when I'm told. I go to sleep when I'm told. Like I work when I'm told. Like, I'm told.
It's not funny, but it's just like how it came out just now. I'm sorry.
You know what I'm saying?
But, I mean, to your point, bro. I mean, yeah, you can still see people doing crack, but it's lesser than it was back what in the 80s.
Now we just do liquid heroin, aka lean. Well, that's the only difference.
Yeah. Anyways, the point I was making is that slavery still exists in the form of like the prison system. So it's just like, yeah, I mean, y'all have a really strong point saying that slavery was worse, but I mean, it could go either way. I feel like, because they were both bad. Like at the end of the day.
I just want to make a note for all the fans. Listen, this is the most we've ever talked about crack on the show.
Yeah, and for the
keep chuckling, it's just like every time someone says crack, I'm just like, we're really talking about crack right now.
Who's on crack?
Just to point out, no one on the show does crack. None of us ever do it. None of us are involved.
I would have sold my computer by now if I was on crack, bro. Like,
I was gonna say, I don't think we'd have been able to sit here for this long.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so another like interesting like, I guess you could say, debate topic or whatever that was brought up along with that crack and slavery thing was how I know everyone saw the game and his comments about how he said, I believe he said only pets and women are loved.
Children.
Yeah, he said like pets, women, and children are loved unconditionally. And he said men are only loved under the condition that they provide something. And that was like a hot debate. People were saying, "Oh, yes, no, yes, no." So I'll throw it up for anyone. Or Malik, how do you feel about that?
I mean, it's like, I see what he's saying, but I do feel like at some point in any relationship, any bond, anything, someone's gonna need something out of that other person, and vice versa. So, and I can like honestly, like most, like a lot of girls aren't immediately looking for a guy to be able to provide. Sometimes they just want some time, some company, some attention. They just want the little things. But as that builds and goes over time, she's gonna want to expect, like, all right, you here all the time, you doing it, like we doing. What are you doing for me? Because now at a certain point, you're no longer like, she's kind of only dealt and stuck with you. So eventually, it's like, all right, what are you doing for her? And then
what more are you providing besides yourself is what you're saying.
Yeah, like eventually she's gonna want more than just your time and your attention. And that's with anybody. And guys as well. So it's like it can't. I'm not gonna sit there and ever try to be like, oh yeah, like, because it goes for both ways.
Ladies, you
Like
have
as
to let
much
us
as
know what you think in the comments. You're gonna have to let us know what you think about this topic, by the way. But
yeah, so it's like for me, it goes both ways. Like I get where he's coming from, but that's not immediately always true off the jump. And then also you got some who don't really expect anything from him except for that attention and time because no one's really giving it to them. They just expecting it from them. You get what I'm saying? So it's like it go both ways. Eventually, expectations of things outside of just time and attention are gonna be expected. So
yeah. So what do you think, John, about what the game had to say? Do you agree? Disagree?
Yeah, it's like 50-50. Like, I don't know. I feel as if like, of course, like, you know, as men through the years or like through all the years have been like looked as providers. So that's why we're gonna have the stigma, like, you know, we can't be loved just like that. You know, we have to provide, we have to step up. But I don't know. This feels as if in today's climate, everyone wants equality, so treat everybody equally, do what you gotta do. Nothing matters really. No, I don't got a big stance on that. I was just like, I feel as if the game's mad corny and like you stole that quote from like Chris Rock.
the game, of all people to say this, when I figured it was the game and said, I'm just like, oh, well.
Yeah, okay. This is a Justin LeBoy-esque.
Justin LeBoy, Kevin Samuels-esque. But yeah, what do you
the tackles Justin LeBoy got on the black community, that's gonna be a good topic in a couple years. I wake up, see this repost every day. That one's insane,
bro. The chokehold that him and Hookah has over our community is
got the Undertaker grip on.
Man, it's a vice grip, bro. Like it got you in a chokehold, bro. Like let it go, man. Let it go.
I remember the last time I gone a day without seeing like one of his posts on the story.
Respectfully.
Yeah,
it's just like it's so corny, bro. Like, oh, he's such a cornball, bro. Like, how is he getting so much?
Like he's just appeasing to women, and it's like, yo, it works.
Bro, but he's
appeasing to some dudes too. It's not just women. But
I'm not saying no names, but I see the posts. He already posted them. I ain't saying no name.
So, what do you think, Rashad? You agree? Because you know, as John Ali said,
I really don't have a heavy stance on this either, but I agree with everything that's been said. Men are looked at as providers, but at the end of the day, nobody's gonna want to be with like anybody that's not like giving you anything substantial long term. Like, yeah, in the beginning,
man or woman, right? Like,
right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like in the beginning, it might be attention, quality time, intimacy, but like over time, you're gonna need some substance, and it's just like men or women, like you feel like it's not going anywhere. So I don't know. It applies to both genders.
Right. I think for me personally, yeah, I think it does apply to both genders. I think he's coming from the standpoint of like how things used to be, because like everyone said, men have been seen as like the provider and the leader of the household and everything. And you know, it's kind of
this was a 60-year-old man talking, so of course he's talking back. Like, I think we should have honestly been looking at that from the jump. Like, this is an old ass man saying this. Of course he's looking at it from back then.
Some people will argue that it's even like biblical. You know, some people will be like, oh, like it's even in you know, religious scriptures that the man is supposed to provide and all that stuff. But I don't know, to say that only men are only loved under the condition they provide something. If that was the case, then I think all the like people who are out here homeless who can't provide for themselves, I don't think people help them because they want to see them succeed, not because of any ulterior motive. You know, so I get where he was coming from, but equally, I think, like Rashad said, man or woman, any gender person in a relationship who's not carrying their weight, it's going to be, depending on who you are, it's going to be hard to continue to, you know, feel how you felt when they were maybe in a situation where they're carrying their weight, depending on who you are, though, because some people have bigger hearts than other people. So I think that's kind of how it is. But just to talk about, we were talking about something of substance. A lot of new music that has came out recently. Specifically, I want to talk about Culture 3, Migos. I think that was damn near a masterpiece. I can't tell you more than 3 songs that weren't great on that album.
Great. Okay.
Especially Malibu with Polo G and Mahomes. I think both of those songs are like songs that are gonna be out there.
That song go crazy.
Like, see, John couldn't even help it. He just started saying.
I was like, yeah, Mahomes go crazy, antisocial go crazy. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not even the biggest Drake fan, but you know, he did what he had to do on Having It Your Way.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, Culture 3, solid. Hopefully it stands maybe by next year, if I'm still bumping it, you know, it's gonna stand the test of time.
I mean, it's Thursday night. I mean, Culture was I don't want to skip over that. Culture was a banger. I listen to it almost every day. It's I think it's their best piece of work, to date maybe. But I mean, it's Thursday night, bro. And it's rumored that Kanye's album is dropping at midnight, right? What is it?
Yes, sir.
It's like a whole live
45 minutes.
Right now, right? Like,
you know, it's late. Black people don't never start nothing on time.
Facts. Are you guys excited to hear it?
Yes, sir. I think we're gonna get that old Kanye back. That old
The way it's been like talked about so far, I can say this is actually first time I've been excited for a Kanye album. Because I mean, I'm a Kanye fan, but I'm not a fan that's like waiting for releases or like up to date about what he's doing. Like I just, you know, when the music's out, it's out. But I can honestly say like I'm actually waiting to hear this because I'm hearing it's supposed to be bangers on here, like actually like some hard music, not
features is nice.
Not Ye's King or Jesus, whatever that last one was. Like that, then I get that. It's cool. That's what he was on at the time. But I need some bangers. I need something to play in the whip.
Yeah, I feel as if the Cardi influence on Kanye, it's gonna be big, and I think
Yes, sir.
we're gonna see a good blast.
The Cardi influence on Coi Leray is not good. No bueno.
Yeah, because he can't help who he influenced. He just influential. It is what it is.
Okay, I get that, but I think let's talk about the music. The XSO freestyles that came out. Though I'm not talking about the individuals. I think the ones where everyone was in a group and you had to like do it on the spot. I think, the cipher. I'm sorry, the XSO cipher. Yeah, I think there were some good ones. I think Pooh Shiesty's was good. Ruby Rose had a good one. 42 Doug, I believe he was also in there. I think he had a good one. But man, I mean, Coi Leray, not to like bang on her or anything, but like I just think it was awful. I truly do think it was awful.
I mean, I thought the whole ciphers this year was kind of lackluster.
The entire magazine was,
Yeah, so they kind of falling off. Like nobody. It used to be cool. The last best one, like maybe was the 2016 with Uzi, 21 Kodak, but yeah, XO they kind of
a lot more notable names because almost all those rappers, Denzel Curry, all of them are still making music. And
even last year they had Meg Thee Stallion, The Baby.
No, that was 2019.
Oh yeah, 2019. I forgot 2019.
2020 was like
COVID. There's nothing really.
Mulatto.
Was one last year?
Yeah, Fabio, Mulatto, Apollo G. I'm not gonna lie to you. That little cipher they did was cool for real.
Jack Harlow.
Polo G got grouped up in them because Polo G became bigger than the XXL at that point. So he got grouped up in that. I feel like it made people be like, yeah, because
I think he might have been the biggest artist on the cover last yeast
On his way up.
Had to be.
Yeah, I would say so. But yeah, I mean, XXL, the list this year, I think the list had some good names. I think it's just the freestyles were very, like you said, not subpar. I mean, no, they were subpar. Like they're just kind of a little lackluster.
I mean, what's not lackluster? What's not subpar? This season of Rick and Morty. I just want to let it be known, bro, that they coming with some heat this season, bro. Like,
I will say it's crazy you said it because I remember last time we talked about it, I think I said I hadn't even watched none of it yet. I've caught up now. This is the 5th season, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've caught, and the last episode just came out the other night. I'm caught up now.
That might be my favorite episode. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. Like the whole Jerry adventure with Rick, bro, and then they were like in hell with the demons that came, and it was so weird, bro. But like,
man, I was dying with the little Morty and Beth with the Beth Summer with the little that little side character. That joint was hilarious.
What's his name?
Car on the
Like catch him or whatever it was. That joint was funny. But
I'll just let it be known that I'm the only person on the set who does not watch Rick and Morty. What I like
let me say something about that, bro. I'm talking about this is like behind the scenes stuff, yo. I'm like, yo, we gotta add Rick and Morty to the script, bro. And this man is like, yo, I don't think anybody cares about Rick and Morty. And I'm like,
the only person who doesn't like Rick and Morty.
Bro, I'm like, yeah, bro. I'm like, dude,
I'm not gonna say I don't like it. I'm the only person who is not geeking to watch it. I'm not.
You know how big Rick and Morty is right now? I go to the gas station and I go to get my papers and funnel. There are Rick and Morty vapes, Rick and Morty rolling trays, Rick and Morty lighters. The most random Rick and Morty things are plastered in front of the gas station displays. That's how big Rick and Morty is, bro.
They were in Space Jam. Rick and Morty were in Space Jam.
This is true.
Wait, just because you brought up Space Jam, I'm not gonna lie. Space Jam, it was not it. It was not it.
Yeah,
it was too long.
Like I said before, I'm not gonna drop no spoilers. But LeBron can't act. So
I'm also not gonna drop no spoilers. He got dunked on.
The funniest thing from that was how I think Jordan in the first Space Jam, he was like he had like 40, like 22 for 22. Like
I was just about to bring this up. Go ahead. He shot 4 shots. That should tell you something.
Yeah,
he's passive.
the way people like really went in on LeBron, like they were reading reviews about it. Like some people were like, oh, when I watch basketball, I want to watch it again. When I watch Space Jam, I don't want to watch it again. I'm like, come on, come on, let's not do that.
Yeah, come on now.
It wasn't a good movie, like no like strength of the imagination, but it's for kids. So if kids liked it, then sure. But personally, it was not it. It was not it.
It's because we're comparing it to the first one.
Yeah.
I mean,
so long.
First one's like the first one is good. It's not too long. It's only like 80 minutes.
Michael Jordan's acting was not cringe. I just want to throw that in there. But
it was a bunch of like just corny, but I guess it was for kids, so
I mean, I guess you could blame some of that on the script because some of that just I wanted to cut it off, bro. Like
the scene that everyone was talking about was where it was like they were in the room and then LeBron was like, yeah, Bugs. And he went like gave him a little shoulder bump, and it was like people were saying like how awkward it must have been because like LeBron is just like not the best.
You don't know what was awkward, bro? When he was in his son's room and they were like playing the game or something, he was like, "Did you say dab on him? You want me to dab on him? Dab."
I was like, 2021, really? Really? It's that 2021?
Well, let's say the script had to be in motion for years now. So, but even still, they could have edited that.
I mean, so outside of Space Jam and like Rick and Morty, is it like anything else like you guys are like really watching right now? I'm gonna start with you, Casey, since you don't like or don't watch Rick and Morty.
I was about to say it. Not that I don't like it, I just don't watch it. But man,
but go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm waiting on I think the next and last season of Insecure. I got into it last summer during the pandemic. I think that show is very much relatable to like almost anyone who watches it, especially us young Black men and females that are out here in the dating scene. I think it's like very much, and who are also trying to like, like do their own thing and everything like that. So yeah, Insecure for me, that's the #1 show. And also I was told about, speaking of off air, one of our co-hosts here, Rashad, I'm gonna just put his name out there. He was telling me like about Snowfall, like how Snowfall is really a great show. I should get into it. And also I think Power. I've heard Power a lot. Like
Chef's Kiss.
Like Power is another great show. So yeah, I'll probably start both of those soon. But yeah, for me it's Insecure. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, Insecure good. So that's the last season. I'm ready though. I've been watching Manifest. That's like that joint crazy. So I'm never going to Jamaica. But yeah, Manifest is good. I'm ready for I don't know if y'all watched it, but the show Euphoria was Zendaya. I like that show a lot.
It's cool.
Hey, man, don't make that face. That show crazy. Anime wise, I've been watching. I'm not gonna lie. I've been reading some Dragon Ball Super, so they need to get the animation. I'm not gonna spoil too much, but my boy Vegeta, he's that guy. He's that guy. I'm not gonna spoil it though, because I don't know whoever reads. But yeah, Manifest, great show.
Yeah, I mean, I think. What about you, Malik? You what shows?
I don't really watch TV, so.
Hey, you know what show I think we're all looking forward to, and what we're all trying to get back to is some NFL football that's coming in less than a month. I can say that.
Hard Knocks. I can't wait for the Cowboys to see.
What shows you?
What you looking for?
Y'all done already transitioned. Go ahead.
No. But yeah, what you looking forward to, Sean?
Power just started back up Sunday.
Yeah, Raising Canaan.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then the Tariq verse of Power comes back in December.
Right.
Yeah, book 2. I don't know, bro. I can't keep up with the books, but yeah, Power came back Sunday. I'm into that. Manifest, yeah, that's that show for real. I've been hip to that since day one. Anime wise, bro. Yeah, I've been reading Super. I've been reading My Hero Academia, but I just started something called
You've been reading my. Well, yeah, it's a show in the
bro. I'm telling you, bro. If you don't, you gotta read it, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, I just started reading something called Chainsaw Man, bro. If you know, Chainsaw Man. Really, that is ready to get animated. I think this fall. But
hey, so another quick question to everybody. Another show that just got animated. I know John might know about it because we have someone that used to tell us about it all the time. It was called The Invincibles. That it just became an animated. That's another anime that I do actually want to low-key get into because I've been told about how like great it was as a manga, and I know someone who's like rated almost damn near all the way through up until where it is right now. So I don't know if it's like what episode or if it's still going or anything like that, but yeah, that's like definitely one anime that I do want to get into. But yeah, like I said, I think I can speak for everyone watching when I say maybe except for certain people who don't like football, but yeah, I'm looking forward to some football. That's what I want to see. Some Ravens.
Yes, sir. I cannot wait for that first episode of Monday night.
Exactly. Oh man.
See full capacity fans back watching football. Like it was cool watching it with no fans, but I need that adrenaline. Like I need that.
Yeah. Any fans out there, Raiders fans, listen, y'all catch me at the game this year. I don't know who won, but I'll be there.
What Mark you said? He said, catch me at the bank. You can come see me.
Catch me out the bank.
Come see me
outside.
Exactly. Catch me outside. Come see me in front of the Ray Lewis statue. I'm gonna be right there.
Right there.
Oh man. But yeah, I think that wraps up another episode of the 4th Down Podcast. This is a special episode. We finally got the visuals out for y'all. We just want to thank everyone who's tuned in, that's gonna watch us in the future, and just we appreciate all the love and support we get.
We'll listen to it in the future.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Or listen, yeah, if you're not able to get the visuals. But yeah, like usual, keep turn our noties on social media. Keep us. We'll keep y'all updated with what we're gonna do moving forward. All the listening apps will be available. All the listening apps, all the different platforms. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we appreciate it. Like I said, and if anyone else has anything to add, I mean,
Yeah, if anybody out there listening or watching, feel free to DM us with anything you want to hear about. We're open to
suggestions always.
Yeah, so
we want to interact with the fans. I'm saying we love y'all.
Yeah, exactly. We're doing this for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Granted, we love all the stuff that we're talking about and everything, but this content, we're trying to get the best possible content and quality for y'all. So, yeah, like I said, once again, we appreciate everything. Like I said, turn our noties on. We'll keep y'all posted. We'll keep updating, keep posting everything. And yeah, I think that's a wrap. We're signing out, and just look forward to our next episode coming within the next few weeks.
I'll let you go.
Oh hell no! All right, we on season. Turn up. All my Leos turn up.